استراحة الآن. الطرق 11 ساعة. الطالب اثنين. سبيشل.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, how are you going? And welcome in to this SATAC semi-final. You know the drill. Let's get you guys visual on the dice roller. This is for the map 3, 2, 1. And it's map number 4. That will be Tbilisi versus Sukhumi, clear winter day. And ETF has picked heads, which is 1 on the two-sided dice. 3, 2, 1. ETF picks starting side. Perfect. That sorts out that. Let's just change the mission and get everything rolling for the match. How are you guys all going today? I hope you're all doing well. It's been busy for the last couple of days for me. Lots and lots happening on. There we go. Welcome in, call sign Wombat. Thank you for reminding me to change the game category. Mogas, Mustang, Hex, good to see you. Mustang, I hope you're doing well. How many Jeffs we're going to see? At least 6. Though, I don't think that inSky flies that many JF-17s. They tend to be preferential towards Western airframes. Thank you, Tech. I hope that you have a good one today. Good luck with what you've got going on. All right. There we go. And if it isn't, ETF picking blue as their starting side. And a neat line of 6 JF-17s are here to keep us company. Hello, Reckless. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. I may be joined by a co-commentator here, that being Ace Windhover, if he is available, but we'll see. "12 Jess, let's go." It would be too much fun, I think. Okay, so both teams have agreed on no ECM. However, ETF have said that they're going to be bringing their ECM pods for the purposes of their radar warning receiver. I don't actually know what having the pod on for the JF-17 does for its radar warning receiver, but clearly it must be worthwhile. Now we have to deal with the big question is, do you guys prefer the altitude view or the satellite view? On the winter maps, people tend to prefer the altitude map a little bit. They do have different ones? Yeah, they do. ETF is a global team. Yes, they are, with representatives from all over the world. In fact, let's have a quick look at them. Because helpfully, they have them all painted on the side of their ships. So here we have Breeze from Saudi Arabia. And this is... Ooh, this one's unmarked, actually. This is Riker. Riker hasn't got his fancy, skin on. Riker usually has a skin that has the little Enterprise logo on the back. NCC 170... Ooh, I forget what the last number is. Lasky here, checking in from Ukraine. Dizzy. Dizzy, she is from the US of A. And we have Aspen from the US, and Electroball from England. Meanwhile, on the inSky team, we have HTWJ, Yanyu, Kainao, Wu Wei, and 1969. With some brand spanking new liveries. Check this out. So, expect some colour and flair from the pride of China, and I don't think I would be too wrong in saying that. I think that inSky are well known as extraordinarily capable pilots. Probably some of the best in the world, so make no mistake. The boys from, and girls from ETF are going to be in for a hell of a fight. Looks like it's 3 F-16s and 3 F-15s so far. Okay. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And everyone here is ready right on time and just about set up in record time. Let's get a poll going. I want to know who you're here to support. I encourage you to go with your gut as much as you do with your mind. I want people cheering for both teams here because they're both fantastic. When's the final? Next weekend, I think. We have 2 matches this weekend. So this weekend we have ETF facing off against inSky today in a knockout. And then tomorrow we are going to get the 104th facing off against... Let me just double check. The 45th. Both of these matches are going to be pretty much unmissable, I think. So, this is going to be a heck of a fight for inSky. I think with the last match, we've seen aggression work really well with ETF. Well, ETF came into that fight against the 69th only flies with a specific strategy to take out their F-15s at long range. And as we were talking after the match, we did kind of settle on the fact that the strategy didn't really work. They didn't get the early picks against the F-15s that they wanted to with long-range missile shots. So, considering that they're up against 3 F-15s here, it does raise the question as to whether or not they will have shaped up that strategy and would be willing to attempt it again, or whether or not they are going to be as aggressive as they were in the final 3 rounds of the match that we had last weekend. And here we have inSky's F-16 liveries as well. Still looking gorgeous. I love this this wing livery. Just looks fantastic. I think we have one more member of inSky to come. Nanami. Oh, I'm missing the skins. No! Never mind. But I think, just as you say, Ekman Jones, that the key to victory here for ETF is going to be aggression. inSky is reporting ready already. Looks like they're keen to get this one moving. And ETF is all lined up, so no doubt we'll see from them. Hear from them, rather, very shortly. So let's get ourselves ready. Let's shift up the music a little bit as well. How about this? And we'll get the volume just a hair louder. Okay, both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. And there we have it. The first 4 jets for the brave pilots of ETF begin their journey down the runway to face off against the legend of China. And they're up and safe. We'll see these guys spread out into 4 ships in a row, I think. If the ETF playbook is still the same. And Dizzy and Aspen will sit in reserve, waiting for their opportunity to go. HDWJ and Kainau have taken off for inSky as well. Welcome in, Thea, and welcome in everyone else. I hope you're having a good day today. For those of you not familiar, this is a 6v6 PvP battle that you will be witnessing today between inSky, a Chinese team, and previous winners of no shortage of competitions. They'll be facing off against ETF, a veteran squad of pilots specializing in the JF-17 Thunder. And for those of you not familiar with me, my name's Airshow, the aeroplane VTuber. I'll be your host for today. The objective of the competition is to control this central circle here. Whichever team occupies the circle uncontested, presumably via the destruction of all of their opponents, will take control of the circle, and they can have the opportunity to secure victory by successfully returning to base. The last two pilots for ETF lined up and ready to go. Aspen goes forth. Dizzy, the last one to go. All of these pilots, legendary in their own regard. I'm glad. Yeah, I hope you're having a good day. I realise now that for the longest time I had been calling this thing on the side of the aircraft part of its missile warning system, when actually it's just a big LED light. Just goes to show that I'm kinda stupid. So now I don't actually know where the missile warning sensors are on this thing. Because I know it's got the two ones on the tail here, but I don't know where the other ones are. That's the question. Anyway. Come on, Dizzy. Let's get that throttle forwards. Your team needs you. And there she goes. Tail end Charlie for ETF. Taking off now. That's the refueling light, and you can actually overspeed it. No way. Hex, I was asking earlier, but you might have responded and I might not have seen it. What is it about the ECM pod on the JF-17 that makes its radar warning receiver work better? I thought the MWS had 360 coverage. Okay. Wu Wei already up at 24,000 feet, 37,000 feet, correction. And it looks like we have Breeze and Lasky approaching in close formation. It can slant range, aka guess the distance to the radar emitter. Did Riker DC? I'm not sure, but it does look like Riker is DC'd, yes. What happened? Yeah, Riker has disconnected, unfortunately, in air. So that's the loss of one pilot in the first round. Wheels off the ground. HTWJ entering. Hello, Honeko. How are you? I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? The battle area is contested. Both teams now approaching the circle. Yeah, there really isn't a great map option here. Yeah, that is a shame. Especially in a Western team versus Chinese team match. Usually the disconnections affect the Chinese players, but not this time. And it looks like both teams are even Stevens in terms of support here at the moment. Working along as usual. At least it's not as hot as it was the other day. Did we lose another one? Did we... What's happening? Did we lose Electro Bull as well? What's happening? I don't see anything wrong. I wonder what could have possibly caused that. Two of us DC'd, some issue with the server here. Are you seeing anything, AlphaGator? It was thundering so hard tonight it sounded like explosions. Yeah, we were getting some thunder as well. What is a CAC map? Hey Cheerleader, how are you? You can see the F-16. Two of your favourite teams with a site preference in one direction. You're good. How are you? I'm doing well too. Unfortunately, we had 2 disconnections during the first match, which is a rough start. Damn. Okay, this missile looks no good. SD-10's being traded all over the place here at the moment. Breeze defending against the missile. No ECM, but ETF are bringing ECM pods so that they can use their advanced radar warning receiver features. You know, DCS has DC in the name, but come on. One of them was an integrity check fail as well, which I didn't expect. However, this missile might be heading towards HMRC Nami, which has a lot of potential, actually. So, we shall see. It's coming in. Might be an early kill for ETF. Ooh, it's a Ooh, bam! Okay, it connects. Okay, fuck me. It's a 5v1, so they're working on evening out the numbers. Hello, Bullet, how you going? Lasky's proceeding along. Wu Wei receiving an SD-10 here. 40,000 feet up in the sky. Aspen and Yanyu only 9 nautical miles away from each other. Breeze slotting in here at the moment as well. 7 nautical mile shot towards Yanyu from Aspen. Even though they're 2 members down, ETF are fighting their hearts out, and this missile's got some potential. Looks like it's not going to have the speed to catch up. But it is close. Breeze with an AIM-120 to defend now. Nicely gets that one into the terrain. SD-10's flying in all directions now towards Kainao, Yanyu, and HTWJ. Dizzy as well at high altitude. Takes a 23 nautical mile shot towards Wu Wei, who's making their attack now. Lasky fires an SD-10 towards Yanyu, who fires a 120 back. Lasky's missile doesn't even try. But Lasky manages to, notch this one for a second, notches it again. Amazing. And Aspen manages to take out Yanyu at close range as well. They're not being turned away by the fact that it's a 4v4 now. Impact. Breeze takes out HTWJ. 2 members down, and they're making this look easy. 1969 is directly above both members of ETF here, but would have to angle straight down to try and make something happen. Wu Wei also trying to make something happen here, firing downwards towards the JF-17s. Oh my god, but he manages to get it just by centimeters. Unbelievable that these shots aren't connecting. Looks like Dizzy got splashed by 1969. There's a PL5 trying to catch up to 1969, but Lasky might have been caught at too high an altitude here. And goes down. It's a 2v3 now, with Aspen chasing down Wu Wei. Down to the gun only. What about Breeze? 2 PL5s and an SD-10 left. Meanwhile, Wu Wei has 2 AMRAAMs and 2 Sidewinders. Kainao, 2 AMRAAMs, 2 Sidewinders. 1969, 3 AMRAAMs, 2 Sidewinders. Can he jam the Wes on this shot? Breeze going for the notch. And successfully notching it. I cannot believe the way that Breeze defends these missiles. And another one doesn't connect, goes for the tree instead. Breeze gets away with it by a hair's breadth. Aspen here, getting close with Kainao. Unfortunately gets splashed. Breeze and Kainao not far from each other. Kainao over Breeze's right-hand shoulder. But it looks like he may not have him. Looks like Breeze is flying up towards 1969 here, but already has a 120 coming down towards him. Can he pull it into the notch? Yes, he can. God, he's so good at it. And he manages to successfully splash his opponent, Breeze, with an incredible number of kills here. Unfortunately, not dodging the last missile here. And with 2 members remaining of Wu Wei and Kai now. We'll check that everyone's down. There goes 1969, and... just let me pass some information over to ETF in chat. Breeze is the best. There'll be a bit of conversation happening in the background among the organisers, so while that's happening, let's have a look at some truly amazing flying. What a shame that we lost Riker and Electro Bull here to a disconnection and an integrity check failure. I personally haven't got the slightest clue what's happened. Nothing has changed with the configuration of the server since last weekend's matches, except the most recent patch that came out. They sure bloodied inSky. Well, it just makes me a little bit sad because I wish they had all their pilots, you know? And I can't imagine what would have caused that to have had gone wrong. But even with the disadvantage that they were flying with, an astonishingly good performance from ETF. One 1,000, 2 1,000, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Which one had the integrity check failure? I don't know, actually, but it was for something to do with the winter textures on Caucasus. If you've ever wanted to see how you can notch missiles, Breeze is the perfect example. The unkillable Jeff, just getting perfectly into the notch every time. Managing to get a great shot against HTWJ here at 6 nautical miles. And just look at this. Just a little spice of chaff to encourage the missile not to go for it. Unbelievable. And if had he not countermeasured just then, I think the missile would have got him. Oh, wow. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I don't know why the F-15s show up as paper aeroplanes now. Unlucky for the PL5s to not have an effect here for Aspen. And just look at this dodging here. Absolutely crazy. It beggars belief, if I'm perfectly honest. Dizzy here got splashed by 1969. Looks like it was a 22 nautical mile shot here. Unfortunately, Dizzy's missile in response here, not having the legs to make it. Who was it that splashed 1969 here? Which version of TACView? TACView Advanced? Yeah, it's not giving me a version number. But I might be looking in the wrong place. says at the top. Let me see. Just says TACView Advanced for me. I'm running it through Steam, so it should all be up to date. Anyway, inSky is returning back to base here. "34 nautical miles left to go for Kainao and Wuwei." Non-beta versions don't show the version number. Steam versions should have the F15C though. Yeah, I'm not sure. It only happened recently, so I'm not entirely sure what causes it. And Kai now makes it down and safe for inSky as Wu-Wei heads back to base. Not much left in the tank, it looks like, with the engines at 62% RPM. Looks like he's at full idle. Perhaps verify game or swap to beta? That's fine for now. Hey Zulu, how are you? ETF did lose the first round, but it was due to, in no small part, some technical issues, with two of their pilots disconnecting. Apologise for being quiet a little bit, guys. Just checking some things in the background. Just making sure everyone can get into the game and that everything runs okay. Looks like he's got just enough plane juice to make it back. Glad to hear it, Zulu. Glad to hear it. And a beautiful landing from Wu-Wei, with plenty of aero braking, but not too much. Doesn't even need the air brake. All right. Let's restart the mission. Okay guys, well, we're going to get some ads out of the way, but first, let's hear a little word from our friends over at Master Arm Servers. You know them, you love them. Without them, none of this would be possible.
Running a dedicated DCS server can be complex, time-consuming, and expensive. And after all that effort, you still might not get the smooth, seamless experience you're looking for. That's why virtual pilots and virtual squadrons choose Master Arm as a ready for immediate use solution and for peak efficiency. With low latency, high stability, and uncompromising performance, Master Arm ensures that every maneuver, every decision, and every shot counts. Stay mission ready. Fly with confidence. Master Arm has your six. Get your server at www.masterarm.de.
Thank you very much, Master Arm Servers. What's inSky flying today? 3 F-16s and 3 F-15s. I'm going to be right back while we get ready for the next round, guys. So, get up, get yourself a drink, and we'll see you in a moment. Okay. We see Breeze in position, the hero of round 1, managing to down 3 planes, Riker and Lasky. In fact, let me double check. Oh, the server's restarted, so the scores won't be the same. So, we have Breeze, Riker, Lasky, Electro Bull, Dizzy, and Aspen for ETF on the red side this time. You're exactly right, Zulu. I was saying that it's interesting that the Chinese bring so many Western aircraft, and yet the international team they're fighting against is flying one of the most contemporary... Oh my god. Everything unloaded. Are flying the most contemporary Chinese aircraft in the game. Hello, Flup. Hello, Light. How are you? Good to see you. Doing alright? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I really, really hope we don't get any disconnections from ETF this time. We're just talking behind the scenes with the organizers, and we can't figure out what it was. It looked like it was a totally ordinary disconnection for one of the players, and an integrity check fail for the other. But we can't quite knuckle down what exactly triggered it. So, touch wood and praise Everly. We're back from ads, what are you saying? Oh, I was just yapping. You still have no GPU light? No! Oh my goodness, might as well uninstall your game. Have you ordered one and you're just waiting for it to arrive? No, I was just saying that I really, really hope that ETF doesn't have any connection problems for this one. But yeah, one of them was a plain old disconnect, and the other one was a, yeah, one of them was a normal disconnection, the other one was an integrity check failure. Livery inspection time. I know. I'm obsessed with these inSky liveries. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. Once again, ETF is in a drip competition. You like them? I like them too. But they got rid of the screw on the front of it. You got any games on your phone? Actually, no, this would be like... Sniffer. Okay. Looks like Nanami is getting ready to move as the F-15s are lined up for inSky. Okay, inSky is reporting ready. And so is ETF. So, both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. God, I fucked up. All right. Much cleaner this time on the ETF takeoff. Perfectly executed. Does each team have an in-game leader? Breeze is definitely the leader of ETF, and rightfully so. He's very good. Okay. Everyone pray for Riker and Electro Ball. Keep an eye on him. Four again? I don't know. Four's on a weird place, you know. It's not my favorite number, I'll tell you that. Airshow can't count. That's true. I've only got wheels and ailerons. I can't count on my fingers. I haven't got any. You should just skip a random number each round. Yeah. Lots of people have suggested that I set up a keyboard macro or something to do the countdown, so it's not like amateur hour with me messing up the countdown every time. But I like to think that it's kind of charming. And also, like, I think setting up a keyboard macro would take, like, at least, like, 40 seconds. And I don't know if I have that kind of time. Did Riker start his backup generator? Okay. Electro Bull and Riker are still flying. Excellent. Meanwhile, HTWJ and Yanyu are in the sky with Kainao behind them, Wu Wei following along behind, and Nanami, the next one to take off. Alright, how are we looking? Where are all my beloved boys? Where's Electro Bull? Is he okay? Is Riker okay? Dizzy proceeds down the runway, the last one to take off for ETF. Meanwhile, Nanami is taking off now. ETF is missing out, not appointing Riker's goat as their team mascot. Does Riker have a goat? Or is he the goat? You missed match 1, how close was it? It was quite close, especially considering the fact that ETF lost 2 pilots to disconnects. But it looks like they have everyone here this time. Yes, so ETF was 2 pilots down, and inSky only made it back with 2. So, presumably, if we have everyone present this time, rough hope it's more stable now. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfectly okay with the server. The battle area is contested. We have a match. It's 6v6. And we still have Electro Ball, Lasky, Breeze, Riker, Dizzy, and Aspen all in the sky. HTWJ, Yanyu, 1969, Kai Now, Wu Wei, and Nanami are all making their way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and they're circle bound. And yes, Riker is also the GOAT. Okay, a much better formation looking for ETF with everyone present. Missile labels pretty please? Of course, of course. Thank you for reminding me. If I ever have the viewing area not set up to your liking and you would like something changed, or if you'd like the volumes changed, or if you'd like me to look at something specific, or if you want me to check something, just let me know. I will do it right away for you. No missiles in the sky just yet. Riker and HTWJ, 57 nautical miles away from each other. Electro Ball, Yanyu, and 1969, between 68 and 70 nautical miles away. So, a relatively conservative entry into the circle for inSky, whereas ETF are staying much more firmly in formation. One tiny air show in the top right, please. Let's see if I put myself here. There we go. You can have a little tiny air show in the top right corner. Okay, 41 nautical miles. Riker and HTWJ facing off against each other. I'll get myself off screen. Question is, will they take the long-range shot? What missiles are inSky carrying on the F-15s? Both F-15s are carrying 4 AMRAAMs, and they're both using the strategy of not bringing Sidewinders on the outside rail. Only 2 Sidewinders per F-15. Some of the Chinese teams have not been bringing Sidewinders at all on their F-15s. Looks like everyone's starting to go defensive. Yanyu's defending here, anticipating missiles that aren't being launched. This is what happens when you get into high-level DCS. You get people getting into launch positions and defending against each other, but no one actually shoots. HTWJ going from 30,000 feet all the way down to 6. Okay, Riker and HTWJ going all the way downtown, but with not a single missile in the sky. The F-15s are maintaining their altitude. 1969 at 28,000 feet, Wu Wei and Nanami at 40. ETF did manage to get some good shots off on their initial round, getting some long-range kills against the F-15s. So, as I had guessed, they have certainly sharpened up their anti-F-15 strategy a little bit. And they're looking very capable. You'd take that half-court shot with better radar? I mean, you say better radar, but the radar in the JF-17 is very capable. Do those outer pylon AIM-9s really create that much drag? There are a couple of things, and part of me wonders if they're superstition or whether or not they're true. Looks like Dynami's fired the first missile of the match. A 47,000-foot AIM-120 launch. And an AIM-120 from Wu Wei as well, as Aspen has fired towards these two high-altitude F-15s. Yeah, I don't know if it's superstition or if it's truth, but the outer pylon F-15C AIM-9s are unpopular, and also they really hate bringing the centerline tank on the F-15. I've had people say to me that bringing the centerline tank and then jettisoning it is as much drag as having both fuel pods on. So just the pylon causes as much drag as both of the fuel pods. Okay, Aspen's got to be careful here because this missile's coming right for him and he's quite high up. It'd be a terrible loss to have at the start of the round. You'd rather take the 7Ms? Yeah, we've seen quite a few effective Sparrow shots in the matches so far. Aspen's really playing with death here. Oh no. Okay. Jeez, Aspen, okay. SD-10's going for Kai now. Getting right into the valleys to get away from them. Looks like the terrain has helped him hide a little bit. Off-bore sight shots from Electro Bull and HTWJ. Can Electro Bull get away from this? Electro Bull's going to try and beat it with speed, but has he got enough? He does, only just, with a perfectly timed roll. Breeze is defending against an AIM-120 that's going right for him. Unlucky this time, Breeze gets splashed. And it's Nanami in the high-altitude F-15 taking up Breeze here. Riker with a 10 nautical mile shot towards Nanami, though. This SD-10 going to have to use all of its energy to get up to altitude here, but will it still have enough speed? Oh, misses by centimeters. Proximity fuse is not on ETF's side today. Kai now defending against two SD-10s. Electro Bull with an SD-10 launch looks like it's towards Yanyu. Yanyu's quite low though, has some terrain to duck behind, but this missile is going on a pretty ballistic trajectory here. And it looks like he might... Okay, it's skimming the trees. Okay, he's got rid of it. Now Electro Bull has to handle these missiles coming in. Notch is one of them. And there's another one coming. Into the water. Kapoosh. Okay, Lasky's got two missiles coming in towards him and is at 10,000 feet. Impact. Lasky gets splashed. What about Riker? The missile just passes over Riker and he dodges it neatly. It's a 4v6 at the moment. Aspen takes a shot here, but there's a 120 coming in. This missile didn't even try. Straight to the dirt. And it looks like HTWJ here just misses the SD-10, which flies over the top of him. Can Riker notch this one? No, Riker gets hit. Unfortunate. A much more composed inSky here, as Electro Ball gets splashed as well. Dizzy and Aspen, the last two left now. AIM 120 from Nanami going towards Aspen. It's going straight down. Impact. Aspen goes down, and Dizzy's the last one left. 3 AMRAAMs to work with. What can she do with them? Dizzy's gone defensive, fires towards Yanyu. 2 shots at about 7.5 nautical miles. I don't think either of these pilots will have too much trouble getting away from these. No effect. Kainao now pushing in. Do the F-15s have any missiles left is the question. Nanami's coming in. 120 left. And the missile comes off the rails towards Dizzy. Dizzy fires back up at Nanami, but Nanami's already loosed their last missile, so even getting splashed here won't be the end of the world, but it looks like the seeker head of this SD-10 is doing them no favors. Impact, but Dizzy's still flying. 1969 now defending against Dizzy. And 1969 gets splashed. But not before also splashing Dizzy, meaning that 5 pilots remain for inSky. And there we have it. Okay, so Kainao, Wu Wei, HTWJ, Yanyu, and Nanami are still up and proceeding back home. Let's check out the TAC view and see what happened. "45th are noobs." I don't know. I know plenty of people who've underestimated the 45th. One thing I do like about the 45th is how enthusiastic they are. So, Breeze, the first one to go down, caught out of position by Nanami in a 8.5 nautical mile shot. You just installed DCS today? I don't even know what DCS is. I've never seen an aeroplane in real life, so this is all complete fantasy and fiction to me. Breeze getting unlucky there with the slash. Riker here. Splashed at short range, a 6 nautical mile shot from HTWJ. Just getting caught slightly too high up. Part of me worries that ETF is a bit rattled by round one. I would be. Electro Ball managing to get some really good dodges against missiles here. But it's 1969's 10 nautical mile high altitude AIM 120 shot that it seals the deal. A clean dodge on this one, but this one still traveling at Mach 1.4. Gotcha. I mean, I hope you guys realize that I have so much authority to talk about what people should be doing in a SATAC match. I'll have you know that I've competed in exactly one SATAC match where I got shot down 3 times without even seeing an enemy. Okay, a high altitude... Wait a second. Why is this one saying it's Alpha Gator? Alpha Gator, why are you playing the match? This is interesting. I'm gonna send Alpha Gator a picture. Okay. And then it was Aspen getting dealt with by Nanami at long range here. Not even at long range, particularly. 10 nautical miles seems to be the magic number for these downward shots. Yeah. Wombat, do you know who's going to be flying tomorrow, or is that secret documents that I'm not allowed to know? AlphaGate is doing really well, actually. There's a paper plane on the battlefield. You know how it is. Dizzy managing to get away from that missile, but, oh. That'll do it. Tough flying. And Nanami is at 60,000 feet. I'm just going to leave you with Nanami for a moment here. I just need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. Okay, it looks like Nanami has made it back safe. Wu Wei's next. No, I've just had a bit of a stomach gurgle recently. All right. Yeah, what probably happened, AlphaGator, is that you occupied the slot and then you left, and then it was occupied by someone else, but TACView just didn't pick that up. Down goes Wu Wei, smooth and safe. And Kainau's just passing over the top as well. Kainau is looping in. But HTWJ is the next one left, with Yanyu and Kainau left to land. Margot, that's like the most suspicious link I've ever seen. But that's the coal-fired fighter. Coal power. No, ETF did not lose anyone to DC this round. Yanyu's next. And looking good. Right, Yanyu's in for landing. And gently does it. It does look a lot like the TACView thing, you're not wrong. The Lippish P13A. And that should mean that there's one left to go. Careful, Yanyu. Drifting off a little bit. You'll get stuck. And Kainau's next. Bouncing down the runway. Beautiful. All right, let's get everything started and ready for the next round. Oh, I'm stuck up in the top left-hand corner. I've got to make myself big again. And my mouth isn't moving. That's even worse. How about now? There we go. Better. Okay, let's get things restarted here. Will this be another come-from-behind victory for ETF? Their previous match successfully managing to be a come-from-behind victory from being 2 down. So we know they can do it. Though a much more commanding inSky seemed to be in charge of that round. So, we'll be right back and run some ads, and we'll get ready for the next one. I'm giving every ounce of my power and support to ETF. I want to see them take at least one round here. I'm going to run a poll in chat, so you guys can let me know who you're here to support, and who you think is going to take the lead in this match. Also, Matty J53, thank you for the follow. I would very much like them to do the thing again, that's for sure. We have HCWJ and Dreamwalker here. Looks like they're sticking with the same loadout of planes that they had before. You vote that I'm going to swoop in and take round 3. I'm just worried that people are going to be upset at me. And Rainbro65, thank you for the follow as well. Hello Nugget, how you going? Welcome to round 3 of ETF versus inSky. Okay, HTWJ, just about making it onto the runway. No tournament? Yes, it is. So, this is a 6v6 PvP DCS tournament, which is why you'll have to forgive the stream delay. where inSky, a team from China, is facing off against the international cohort of Eclipse Task Force. For ETF, we have Breeze, Riker, Lasky, Electro Bull, Dizzy, and Aspen in JF-17 Thunders. They're facing off against the indomitable Chinese team of inSky, represented in this instance by HCWJ, Yanyu, Dreamwalker, 1969, Wu Wei, and Nanami. Including a triplicate of F-16s and 3 F-15s. It is a 6v6 fight, yes, and they are fighting for control over this central circle here. So, the objective, about 110 nautical miles in diameter. And whomever has pilots remaining in this circle, I then give the return to base command to, and they have to fly back home and secure the victory by making a safe landing. You'll have to let me know what you think, Nugget, because it's definitely an interesting form of e-sport, I guess we could call it that. But something I've had the enormous pleasure of being involved in for quite a while now. We just need inSky to get their F-15s over to the runway. Wonder if Nanami's going to use the taxiway to take off. Naughty, naughty. But not really. The F-16 rules, they certainly look very cool lined up like this. Okay, inSky reports ready. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. And there we have it. That's round number 3. And a last chance for ETF to secure their first round. Their semi-final. And up they go, with Dreamwalker following behind, HTWJ and Yanyu leading the way. Riker, Breeze, Electro Ball, and Lasky take off in close formation, and they begin separating out. With Breeze, with Dizzy and Aspen back on the runway waiting for their time to go. Their home airfields disappearing into the distance. Looks like ETF are the favourites for this round, which is interesting. Okay, Wu Wei goes. Wheels up. And that means Nanami is going to be taking off from the taxiway. Plenty of space, I think. Looks like it's a little bit of a delayed start for Nanami. What jet model has the best sortie rate in your tournaments? All-time total? Definitely the S16. Almost all the teams bring at least one F16. Second to that's probably the F15. And then probably the F18. But that's just at a guess. Breeze and Lasky are stacked up. ETF are quite a rarity, actually, in their enthusiasm for the JF-17 Thunder. Quite a rare sight to see. And even rarer to see an entire team bring them. Almost 100% Luke AFB. I see, I see. You're a team? No, we're a team. Both teams enter the zone almost at the exact same time. ETF quite high up this time. 40,000 feet down to 35. I wonder if we'll see them be more proactive with their shots. I think we can all agree that we see ETF at their best when they're being super aggressive. How does 6v6 even work in this open sky space? So, whilst these planes are separated at the moment by 90 nautical miles of distance, their radars, especially the radars in jets like the F-15, can easily detect up to 100 nautical miles and can easily track up to 80 nautical miles. In addition to that, both teams are, let's find one, equipped with A-50 AWACS aircraft, and they are using what's called a GCI, Ground Controller Intercept, which is another player who is using the radar data from this aircraft in an external program called LOT-ATC to provide information for their teammates. So they are having the position of the enemies communicated to them in real time, which should give them enough of a general area to be able to detect the hostiles on their radars and engage them. I love the JF-17, it's got such nice lines. 1969 is charging quite far down into the south, this mountainous terrain beneath them, offering good cover, but I don't suspect that we'll see this F-15 dropping altitude. HTWJ and Riker 50 nautical miles away from each other. So the well within lock range, or in this case, track while scan. You know jack shit about this? That is absolutely okay, Nugget. This is something that can be enjoyed by anyone. ETF have to make it like last week. Exactly. They had a very unfortunate first round where they suffered two disconnects, which put them on the back foot, and they got cleaned up by ETF in the previous round, only managing to splash one of them. Though during the first round, Breeze did manage to shoot down 3 aircraft, so even though they were down 2, they managed to put on a really good show. What do you reckon? 1969 is going to fire? Is he going to do it in time with the music? He did! The right moves being made by everyone here. This missile, I think, has lost all track. HTWJ at 10,000 feet in the F-16 is pushing forwards. How high can these jets go? In terms of a normal fight, you wouldn't expect them to go higher than 50,000 feet. Though a majority of the fighting will happen 20,000 feet and below. Anything above 30,000 feet is high altitude, 20,000 feet is middle altitude, and anything below 20,000 I would call low altitude. Now, this missile is actually quite dangerous. It's going to catch Dizzy out of position here. Not Dizzy, Aspen. Aspen's going to have to defend super hard here. Hopefully can pull enough Gs to get away from it. Not enough. Aspen gets splashed at 50 nautical miles by Nanami. That's 1969's shot, actually. That was a hugely long-range shot. Okay. An early loss for ETF. Hopefully they can bounce back from this. Electro Ball pushing towards Yanyu, 14 nautical miles, 12,000 feet. And listen to this one. No shots being fired just so far. Lasky fires an SD-10. This would be an excellent chance to equalize. Is Nanami going to defend against it very hard, though? Forcing the F-15 to ditch some altitude here. They have to shoot at each other to take control of this circle that they're in, Nugget Kohai. And they have to keep enough fuel in their aircraft to be able to fly back to base and land at least one of their aircraft. 1969 fires towards Riker, who's already fired up at them. How's the missile at 30,000 feet going? Okay, it's got potential. But it's losing speed pretty quickly here. What about the one going for Riker? Riker should easily be able to notch this. Fingers crossed. Unlucky. Wow. Oh, but Riker manages to get lucky with the desync on that one. Oh, getting away with the trick. Lasky fires an SD-10 here. Looks like it's not going for HTWJ, but instead maybe Wu Wei. We'll see. Plenty of missiles in the air at the moment. This one's going for Lasky. Looks like that one successfully notched. And dodged. Riker fires up towards Nanami. This one might actually have the legs to get up there. It's at 24,000 feet. It's not going for Nanami, it's going for Wu Wei. Another missile to dodge. Will Riker get lucky twice? Doesn't look like it. Riker gets flashed. Breeze fires towards Dreamwalker at 6 nautical miles. It's a 4v6 at the moment. Though this SD-10 is scooping up through the terrain here. But going too slow. 1969 fires 2 AIM-120s. Looks like one for Electro Ball and one for Breeze. Electro Ball starts defending. But gets splashed. And Breeze as well. That leaves Lasky, the last one standing for ETF. An SD-10 going towards HTWJ here. Impact. HTWJ goes down. What's Lasky got left to work with? 2 heat seekers. These long shots are amazing, and they're very hard to do. Nanami's coming in. 2 AMRAAMs left. Yanyu. 2 heat seekers and a AMRAAM. Dreamwalker. 3 AMRAAMs, 2 heat seekers. Wu Wei. 3 AMRAAMs, 2 heat seekers, and 1969. Down to heat seekers. Looks like Lasky's made a run for the terrain. inSky is from China. It all falls on Lasky from Ukraine to try and make something happen here. But all of these jets are out for blood. Missile off the rails. Impact. Lasky gets got. And that looks like it's the end of ETF's journey within SATAC this year. Semi-finalists. Taken out by inSky, but that is not something to be disappointed by. inSky, previous winners of many competitions, consummate veterans of DCS competitive. Let's have a look at TAC and see what we missed. Okie doke. So the first one to get done in here was Aspen. Successfully targeted by 1969 with a 56 nautical mile shot. The missile apexing... Whoa! Whoops. Wouldn't be an airshow stream if I didn't do that at least once. The missile apexing at 83,000 feet before beginning its downward journey towards Aspen. What happened? Couldn't ETF get aggressive? They were so dominant in the past. I don't know. Maybe the disconnections during the first round were probably a little bit rattling. F-15s from inSky, very difficult to deal with. High-altitude F-15s are definitely the primary method of destruction the Chinese teams are using at the moment. And they do share a lot of strategy with each other. Riker here actually getting away with a trick. 1969, after shooting down Aspen, fires a 16 nautical mile shot towards Riker. That does connect, but Riker getting unlucky with the notch here. For those of you who don't understand what the term notching is, to make it yourself as difficult as possible to see from a missile's perspective, you want to give it the biggest chance of losing you in the terrain. And the way that missiles gain information about what they're targeting is they send out pulses of radar waves and they analyze the speed at which those radar waves come back. So if a plane is flying directly towards or away from a radar, it can tell where the plane is because those radar waves are bouncing back at roughly at speeds that contrast very greatly to their environment. Notching is when you fly horizontally towards, from the missile's perspective, you fly in such a way that from the missile's perspective, you are moving towards it at the same speed as the ground or the background environment. And that is what confuses the tracking of these missiles. So, Riker getting lucky with the first shot, but the second one seals the deal, and it came from Nanami. At 12 nautical miles, Riker actually getting unlucky here. This is the sort of environment where a missile would tend to get notched, but it looks like there was just enough contrast to keep track of him down there. Breeze is a player that's always worth watching whenever he's playing. He's probably one of the best players in the game when it comes to being able to find that notch angle. And this is part of the reason why high-altitude F-15s are so dominant at the moment, is because at these large, high angles of attack, they do manage to develop better contrast than if you were firing at low altitude. Breeze gets taken out, though it looks like Dizzy Electro Ball goes down at the same time as Breeze. And in case there was any doubt about the ability of inSky's pilots, apologies that the F-15 appears like a paper aeroplane at the moment, 1969 shoots off 2 missiles in what's called a dual target track against both Electro Ball and Dizzy at the same time, and both missiles impact almost at exactly the same time. Electro Ball actually gets hit first, and then Dizzy within the same... not Dizzy. Breeze gets splashed almost exactly the same time. Dizzy getting caught out by Nanami at high altitude. And it looks like the high altitude F-15s are definitely the undoing of the JF-17s in this particular match. And Lasky makes the right move, makes a run for the terrain, but there are just too many inSky jets coming after him. And splash. But not a performance I think that ETF should feel bad about by any stretch of the imagination, as we see Hanami beginning the descent. It's a slightly nauseating angle. My favorite part of SATAC matches is after you see some of the most amazing flying you've ever seen in DCS, you see some of the most interesting landings that you've ever seen in DCS shortly afterwards. And that's Nanami securing the victory for ETF. inSky, rather. Sorry. My brain's an absolute scramble today. Who's next? Looks like it's Wu Wei. Wu Wei's engines are on idle. What is this, half finals? This is the semi-finals. Yes, these are knockout rounds. So that means that it's time for ETF to pack their bags. These long shots deserve montage. Nugget, if you're available tomorrow, you should definitely, let's see. 1800. So, tomorrow, in 2 hours time from now, so whatever time it is for you now, add 2 hours to it, and there will be another match going on between the 45th and the 104th. 2 really, really good squadrons. That is definitely one that you want to watch. You're kind of hooked? Oh, Nugget, make sure you catch tomorrow's match if you can, and then there'll be the finals the weekend following. Okay, we have 1969 and Dreamwalker heading back to base. And Yanyu's the last one left. Let's see if they try for a formation landing. That gun kill from Breeze last week was nasty. ETF is one of my favorite teams in the entire competition. I always take every ETF match I can. I'm a huge fan of all of their pilots, and their flying style is unique. And the insistence on just mastering the JF-17 is such a cool thing. Alright, let me just hop in the Discord in case anyone wants to have a yap with me. Though after intense matches like this, the teams don't always want to settle down for an interview just because these matches can be particularly high tension, and for the players that are joining us from China, it can be as late as 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning for them. Means we have Yanyu, the last one to make it back. Down come the wheels for Yanyu, the last pilot to make it back. Hello. Would you please be able to introduce yourself? We have someone here from inSky. 1998 specifically, though they may want 1 or 2 other players to come and join in. We'll give it a second. (1998), are you able to hear me? Hello! Welcome in, how are you going? Congratulations on your victory. Let me just turn you up here. How is the team feeling after that match?
Yeah, we are pretty lucky to win this match. ETF played well, especially the first round. They lost 2 people before entering the match.
Yes.
But we still suffer a lot from their...
Yes, in fact, the first round, even though there were 2 pilots down, looked like the one where you had the most trouble with them. But things got a bit easier in the second and third rounds. Did anything change, or do you think you just got a little bit more comfortable after getting used to flying around for a little bit?
I played too aggressive. We all played too aggressive in the first round. one, two pilots were down before they really get into close range. One is me, and the other is Yan Yu. We fly too fast, too much into the enemy before anything could happen. Any of our teammates could help us. So that's the main reason we lost the first. We suffered a lot in the first round, but in the second and third round, we are more comfortable with the pace. We slow down a bit. We create more space for our high altitude airplanes. Our F-16s also.
Well, it's
operate better
interesting
with each other. Yeah.
because you made use of 3 F-15s operating at high altitude, and it looks like that's something that more and more teams are starting to do, having at least 1, 2, or even 3 F-15s operating at really high altitude. Why do you think that people are starting to do that?
We start with 2 F-15 initially because we think 2 high altitude airplanes is actually enough for most of the scenarios when our opponent don't have many high altitude airplanes. But soon we encountered some other teams who fly lots and lots of high altitude airplanes. And that's the point we realized if your opponent is flying 2, 3, or 4 F-15Cs, and we are only using 2 of them, there isn't enough space and time for us to turn around and play aggressively. So we tend to use equal number of high altitude airplanes to our opponents. 3 is the...
Absolutely. And ETF, of course, a team that's very well known within the competitive DCS space. So a team that I think you guys would have known what you were going up against, the JF-17 Thunders, an interesting aircraft for SATAC. Were you worried about going up against the JF-17s compared to other Western aircraft, or do you not worry about them too much? Did you have to adjust your tactics at all?
Yes, we are very worried about JF-17's low RCS. That makes them easier to notch missiles. That also has been proven by 69th last Saturday.
Absolutely.
Because, if we are running like 4 F-16s or maybe all 6 of them, we might not have that much advantage against JS-17s because they are more easier than us to notch our missiles. We can't notch their SD-10s that easily, but thanks to low RCS, JF-17s can beat AIM-120 very easily. And that's the main problem we are worried about.
Yeah, no, I understand completely. And one of the problems that some of the teams have been running into with their high-altitude aircraft as well has been running out of missiles. I noticed that your F-15s didn't have AIM-9s on their outer wing pylons, so you only had 2 heat seekers. Is that trade-off worth it for the amount of speed that you get?
I'm not that sure. Maybe other of my teammates have tested for AIM-9 loadout. But for me, the reason I don't take 4 AIM-9s is because I'm pretty bad at dogfighting. So I think if I have to use those AIM-9s, I am already dead. So
Right.
rather than using them, having 2 extra AIM-9s and use them, I expect to use them in late game. I prefer not having them and have more advantage in the start and middle game using my speed and altitude, using my AIM-120s to fight against enemy airplanes.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the victory. There are two teams that you could be going up against next, the 45th or the 104th. Do you guys have one of those teams that you'd prefer to fight, or are you happy with whoever you get?
We're happy with whoever we get, and we're looking forward to tomorrow's match to see their performance. We will prepare very carefully whichever team we are going to fight against.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, I'm sure it's quite late in the evening over there, so I'm sure that you would like to get some rest or go about the rest of your weekend. So thank you very much for flying with us today. If you have anything you'd like to say or any shout-outs you'd like to give, please go ahead.
Thank you for stream, and we are having 3 good matches today, and thanks to all members of ETF. You all fly well. We're looking forward to the next match with you, and good night.
Thank you very much. That's such a pleasure to have you. All right. Thank you very much. 1998-95 YA6 from inSky. Have a good evening.
Good evening, Airshow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, I just love them. And I love everyone who takes part in SATAC as a competition. I feel so sorry for ETF, especially after that first round, but their performance within the competition, I think, is something they should be very proud of. One of my favorite competitive DCS teams. If I could be considered a fan of any team, I could tell you that I'm a fan of ETF, so seeing them get knocked out is heartbreaking. But thank you for putting on such a good show for us. And for inSky, always impressive. Well done on your competition performance, and good luck in the matches to come. Don't forget, guys, that tomorrow, an hour and a half later than now, there will be the 45th facing off against the 104th. A good match that I don't think you should miss. Both teams very enthusiastic, full of excellent characters and great pilots. So you should definitely catch that one. Thank you for all of the follows, subscriptions, and everything to me. Don't forget that in the chat there have been the links to all of SATAC's socials, and I will copy and paste them into the chat for you as well. Not only that, but if you like my content, you can hit the follow button down below, you can join in on my Discord, and you can follow me on Twitter to make sure you never miss any airshow content. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take good care. Big love. Bye-bye.